So, because we had this funding source that was there to fund a new wastewater treatment facility, and we no longer had to build a wastewater treatment facility, we were able to quickly divert that money into other projects that needed to be done.
What is the ComSwip program? Can you describe what that is?
ComSwip is an effort that began, I want to say, close to a decade ago. Comprehensive water and sewer infrastructure. It's a long acronym. I'll get it to you, Ellen. But it's an effort to recognize that we had crumbling infrastructure across the city, and the mayor, Mayor Dupree, as well as previous city council, stepped forward and started putting money into that. The big shot in the arm happened when we didn't have to build this wastewater treatment facility, because we were able to push a lot of that money into ComSwip too. And so we have ComSwip phases that are phased out, I think, until 12.
Yeah, right now we're at 12.
Yeah, we have 12 different phases that either have been funded or in process of happening too. And every few weeks we get together and we look at, one thing a campaign will do for you is you get to hear directly from the people. And people will tell you when they have brown water or when their sewer's backing up, and then you go and you explore that, and it's a great way of soliciting input as far as what projects need to go next. As well as our town hall meetings, those are important too. I mean, we've had a few of those, 2 of them in Ward 5, we've got more coming up, and that's a great source for getting information, but also planning ahead so that people know that their street may not be paved this year, but we may get to it next year. And then you start to develop a real capital improvements plan over 2, 3, 5, 10 years, and really start figuring out how you're going to finance that. And so that all those pieces come together to really take a bold step forward.
What were you hearing about the water from residents? That the pressure was low, or that the water was brown, or what?
Well, in this neighborhood, you have about $10 million of needs to replace asbestos cement lines. And while many agencies will tell you that it's most likely, those pipes are most likely safe, they're definitely not best practice anymore. And so in replacing those with something that's much more modern, that's much safer, that's going to last a lot longer, I mean, that should be a priority no matter what neighborhood you're in.
What hiccups can residents expect in that area during the infrastructure?
Well, there's going to be some inconvenience. During the construction, there is going to be some inconvenience. I mean, there's going to be dump trucks, excavators on the road. I mean, they're going to be part of this process. I mean, they're going to be cutting across people's driveways. So the residents will have to be patient. The contractors, they will try to make sure that the residents can access their property at all times, but there might be a 2-hour, 3-hour period of time to where they're cutting across your driveway that, they'll come to you and say, hey, we're fixing to cut across here, you need to get your car out, it's going to take us 3 or 4 hours to get across and get it backfilled so you can get back in. So it's going to take some effort and some help with the contract, with the contractor and the citizens to help accommodate this process.
Right now, the fire department is doing testing of the fire hydrants to keep the high rating. Will this affect what they need to get done to keep that high rating?
Well, I think anytime you can improve your basic fire protection flow, that definitely helps. And a lot of these areas that were annexed after the city started, the city really hasn't completely followed through with commitments made to these neighborhoods. Now, that's not any one particular person's fault. It's just over time, if you don't make it a priority, it won't be a priority. And so I know in recent years it's become, because of the residents of this neighborhood being vocal, it has become more of a priority and will continue to be throughout this council and this administration.
Will this plan only be addressing the water lines in Ward 5, and can other wards expect any sort of infrastructure upgrades over the next few years?
Well, and if you, I know you're recently new to the area, but if you look at some of the council meetings just in the first 3 months, we've started addressing new sewer going in Dogwood Drive, replacing the sewer on Duke Avenue, replacing the sewer on parts of Corinne. Those projects have been funded as well. And I think we've slated about $20 million in this, $29.1 million in this current budget year between money that comes in off water and sewer fines and that other funding source that's going to be used solely for water and sewer infrastructure. And so, again, every neighborhood should see a little progress every year, and that's what we're trying to accomplish.
The people in this neighborhood, they feel that there are some improvements, some advancements that need to be done. What your administration is doing, what does that mean? What do you want them to know, people in the community, of what you all are doing and why you're doing it?
I would love every resident in every neighborhood to realize they have a stake in every other resident neighborhood. That one person's success is our success. That's the Hattiesburg way, is to celebrate each other's progress, to pick each other up when we have challenges. And so I hope folks will walk away knowing that we're committed to seeing their neighborhood advance every year.
And to add to that, the citizens' interests are always first when it comes to us. They put us in office, so it's our job to take care of them. I know we can't make everyone happy, but the citizens, their interests are always first with us.
Mayor Barker, is it fair to say that the citizens here have been waiting since the 80s and 90s for these infrastructure improvements?
I think a lot of them are here, and you can ask them that, and they'd probably say yes.
Since they just talking about the water line. I know, Nicholas.
Back in the 60s that they're investing. They only said these water lines were put in back in the 60s. We had a community of water association. That's how long it lasted.
It looks like it's gonna be a pretty extensive
There's nothing on
project.
the
Is
city.
there a timeline for completion or,
We'll get that to you. So,
it goes to the bid process now?
that's already actually been bid. Start date is November 15th. That's the slated start date, which probably means it'll be late November, early December before actually you start to see dirt turning.
Is there any reason in the past why this already hasn't been done?
We can only speak for where we are and where we're going. Thank y'all for coming.
I have a question. It has nothing to do with the water line. We've been trying to get a pavilion down here for years. Can anyone speak to that?
I don't want to take away from a future announcement, but I think that the next 6 to 8 months you're going to hear some good news.
All right. That's good enough.
Thank you.